Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in a Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some of the best controller sensitivities slash settings to use. I'm going to be showing you guys 4 different settings in this video. And the first one's going to be a low sensitivity for linear. The second one's going to be a high sensitivity for linear. And then the third one is going to be a low sensitivity for exponential settings. And the last one is going to be a high sensitivity for exponential. So I'm basically covering as many settings as I can in this video. So if you guys looking for some very good new settings to use, definitely stay to the end of the video. I have a ton of very good suggestions for settings for this video. And real quick, before I get into the video, up on the screen I have the V-Buck giveaway winner of this week. I give away V-Bucks every single Friday, so if you guys want a chance to win my next giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to give you guys 4 different sensitivities to maybe try out and maybe one for you guys to use. Like I said, a low and high sensitivity for linear settings and a low and high sensitivity for exponential. Because I know a lot, or most of you guys do play on linear, but there are some of you guys who play exponential. And then there's some of you guys who play low sensitivity and some of you guys who play high sensitivity. So I want to make this video to give you guys some very good suggestions for pretty much everything you can imagine. So the first sensitivities I want to go into is a low linear sense. So going into the first settings that I really like, so these are a low linear sensitivity, and so for my building it's a 1.9, my editing speed is a 2.0, my horizontal and vertical speed is both on 47%, so you have a 1.9 for building, 2.0 for editing, and a 47% for horizontal and vertical. Now, obviously this isn't on the very low end, but this is probably, I would say a medium sensitivity is probably anywhere from like 48 to 50% for your vertical and horizontal speed. So being under 48% I feel like is a low sensitivity. Some of you guys may be playing on 45 or maybe like 42, but I feel like these are very good settings for a lot of you guys to try out for the low side. So my ADS sensitivity is on a 10. Down here my dead zones I have a 9% on both. Look damping time off, and for these settings I would recommend having the foot controller setting if you have this option, turning it off. That way it helps your aim improve the best. So for foot controller, if you have it off, it helps you improve your aim, makes everything a little bit slower. But if you want to focus on building and editing, I would recommend having this setting on. So if you're playing on low settings, I'm already guessing that a lot of you guys are going to be prioritizing aim. You're not going to be prioritizing like the biggest flick shots in those type of shots. So you're gonna be focusing a lot maybe on longer ranges, maybe just focusing on lining up your shots and being a lot more consistent, which is honestly something I like. Personally, I've always gravitated towards the lower sensitivities because I feel like I have way more control. I'm able to be a lot more accurate with them. So for me, I actually do like to have a little bit on the low end. For me, I probably choose like a medium sense, but for low end, I really do like this. I would recommend giving this setting a try. So if you want to go into a maybe higher linear settings, what I would recommend is, so you drop down your building sense to a 1.7, drop down your editing sensitivity to a 1.8, and then move up your vertical and horizontal speed up 11 points, move it up to a 58%, and I would also probably just raise up your ADS sensitivity maybe up a little bit. As far as that, it's really personal preference, but I would put on like 11% or so. And going down to my dead zones, everything's still the same as far as my dead zones, no look damping time, linear settings, and then I foot controller off. So pretty much everything is the same. The only settings are those 3 things. You have the building, your editing, 1.7, 1.8, a 58% for your vertical and look horizontal, and then a 11% for your long range shots. Personally, for me, I really do like having a very low ADS sensitivity. Some of you guys might like having like a 13% or 14%, but personally, I like a really low ADS sensitivity because I feel like I'm able to hit shots from range a lot easier and just be a lot more consistent from those ranges, which are a little bit harder on linear as opposed to exponential settings. So these settings I think are really good for those of you guys who are looking for a little bit faster. Obviously, when it comes to the lower sense that I showed you, in this sense, it's not like crazy on the low end and crazy on the high end. I feel like these are a good balance in between being able, so on the low end, being able to build very smooth, while also still being able to build fast. You're still able to hit your shots if you need to. And then for the high sensitivity, you're still able to hit the flick shots and be very quick, but it's not too quick to the point where you don't have any control over your builds. And that's really the goal in between when you're choosing your settings, is you want to make sure that you have a good balance in between a lot of things. You don't want to just be 100% focused on building and then kind of neglect your aim. So you kind of want to have a good balance, and I feel like these settings are perfect as far as the low end and as far as the high end for having all those balances correctly. And so moving into the best low sensitivity for exponential, I would recommend a 2 building sensitivity and a 2.1 editing, a 46% for my vertical and horizontal, and then for my ADS sensitivity, I know I closed that up pretty quick, but it was only 15%. I really do like these settings a lot for exponential because I feel like I'm able to build quick enough while also at the same time being extremely accurate from range. Obviously, I feel like this is a little bit on the low end, but I really do like having a low sensitivity because that means you're able to be a lot more consistent, hit your shots way easier on other players. Now for me, if you guys ever change from linear to exponential or from exponential to linear, it's going to feel really awkward. That's why I'm building here, and it feels just, everything just feels really strange, just because just the movement and how the stick, I guess how the input works is just completely different. So if you guys do ever change from exponential to linear or linear to exponential, you can just expect it to feel really awkward at first. But if you just give it maybe, I would say even just a couple hours or like a day or two, it's going to feel a lot more natural, and it's not going to feel crazy like how it did at the first time. So if you guys do ever change your settings, I would say it only maybe takes a few hours to maybe like a day or two to really get used to it, as long as you don't make the drastic change like you go from a low linear settings to like a high exponential. But if you go from like a low linear to like a low exponential, it's not going to be that bad. And whenever you change your sensitivities, I always recommend making it or changing it just by a little. I would never really recommend making like a drastic change to your sensitivities. I always recommend maybe moving it just a couple points here and there, seeing how you like it, and if you don't like it, you can go back. But if you want to make it a little bit faster, you can always do that. So that's why I always recommend changing your sensitivity little by little. So it's not really like a big drastic change, so when you're playing pubs or arena with your friends, you're still able to hit your shots even though you change your sensitivity. And now going into the high sensitivity that I would recommend for exponential, the first thing I would do is I would drop my building sensitivity to a 1.9. And then for my editing sensitivity, I would recommend either like a 1.9. For some reason, I kind of liked it on a 1.8. I never really ever have my editing sensitivity lower than my building, but for some reason, I really did like it on a 1.9 and a 1.8. But if that feels weird, then you can play on a 1.9, 1.9 just fine. And my vertical and horizontal sensitivity are both on 55%. And then for my ADS sensitivity, my aim down sights, it is on a 15%. I just bumped it up one notch. I really like having very low ADS sensitivity settings. And that just goes for any settings because I feel like hitting shots from range can be very difficult at times. So having a very low aiming down sight sensitivity for any setting, I feel like is very crucial and something that you guys should definitely be using in any of the settings you guys try out. So these are my high exponential settings. So these are the 4 different settings I wanted to be showing you guys in this video. I really do like these settings because it kind of covers everything from a high sensitivity to a low sensitivity for linear and exponential both. Because I know most of you guys play on linear, but there is a few guys who play on exponential, and I wanted to give you guys some settings for those of you guys who play on those. So for me personally, I do like a good medium ground, but for me, I tend to gravitate towards the lower settings. But for me, I really do like having more on. I do really like having more on the medium side, kind of a good balance in between, because for me, I like the low sensitivity, but the amount of keybot players that just try their nuts off every game, I just have to play on a little bit higher sensitivity than I'm usually comfortable with, and I really like, even though it helps me build and edit a little bit quicker, I'd really just like to focus on aim and be a lot more accurate and consistent. But obviously I can't do that in my solo games because people try too hard, which is, just how it is. And sometimes, like, that's the thing about settings, is sometimes you constantly have to adjust your settings based on the people you play, because if you play a little bit easier people, you can definitely focus on aim. But if you're playing a lot of freaking tryhards every game like me, then you probably have to focus a little bit more on the higher side, either a medium to a higher sensitivity. You're kind of just forced to play on no matter what. So those are the settings that I would recommend, the settings that I use. And if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And as well, make sure you guys do turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And when I announce my V-Buck giveaway winners every single Friday, you guys can stay updated. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys haven't watched my live streams yet, or if you guys just forgot when I stream, it's 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Definitely come by my live streams. A ton of fun. I just play solos on there. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.